We are so excited and we are very happy to have you join us. Without wasting your time, my name is Anna, Efeturi Anna. I'm an MBA holder, MCDA, MCT, Microsoft Certified Trainer. I'm a computer science graduate, Oracle Database Administration, Masters in Business Administration, and an administrator, IT consultant, trainer, and as well as speaker. You can reach me on my Twitter handle. I'm excited to also announce to you that here in Nigeria, I belong to a local community in Nigeria known as Niger Data Platform. I also have the Twitter handle and our LinkedIn handle on this. So you can connect with me either through the community or personally. Today, we'll be looking at data modeling in Power BI. I have some objectives. I have data modeling in Power BI. So overview of data modeling. Data modeling is the process of analyzing and defining all the different data your business collects and produces, as well as the relationship between those bits of data. Data modeling view in Power BI is used to create relationship that creates a logical connection between different data sources, a relationship that enables Power BI to connect tables to one another so that one can create visuals and reports. It automizes, we automate by hiding fields. We create measures to perform calculations on your data. You can use calculated table to create relationship between different tables. We use time-based data so that we can drill down to more details. And like we said, model view creates relationship. Manage relationship. In the data modeling, we manage our relationship. In Power BI, you work with different data models, that contains, contain data from multiple tables that must be connected by relationships. When you import your data into Power BI automatically tries to detect the types of relationships that is between this table. A relationship is where two or more tables are linked together because they contain related data. This enables users to, run queries for related data across multiple tables. Like I said earlier, Power BI automatically dictates all the possible relations between the different sets of data when you import data into Power BI. But sometimes we may have to do the connection manually between the data. Cardinality. We want to look at what is cardinality. Cardinality in Power BI. Cardinality defines the number of relations from one table to the other. We have three types of cardinality. We have one to many or many to one. The many is denoted with a star. The many is denoted with a star, while the one is denoted by one. So when we have instances of just one code, like we can see under this product code, we have one instance of P001, P002. Just a moment, I had to go back to finish. Let me just go to the previous slide. All right. So when we have the instances of the code appearing just once, that is not repeated multiple times on a table, we refer to it as a unique field that serves as the primary key. But on the many table, on the sales order table that has the multiple that is repeated in multiple times, because the sales order has to have order for PO1 about 3 times on the sales orders table, we refer to it as foreign key. So when we have this kind of connection of cardinality from a single a product table to a sales table, or whichever table to another table, we refer to it as one to many cardinality. Another type of cardinality that we have is one to one. In this type of cardinality, one entity attribute creates only one connection to with another attribute, which is, as we can see on this, we can see that we have PR1, PR2 appearing once, as well on this project priority table, as well as PR1, PR2 appearing once on the project budget table. When we have this kind of connection in our data set, we call the cardinality as one-to-one relationship. Another type of relationship, which is the last one we want to look at, is many-to-many relationship. Many-to-many relationship is a situation where we have multiple entities, from one table creating multiple connections with another table. As you can see, we have a sales table and city data table. Under the state column, we can see that we have California appearing twice. We can see Texas appearing once, and as well as. So when we have multiple repeated entries like that on both tables, the connection is referred to as many-to-many. All right, as much as possible, Power BI, we are advised that we should try to avoid a many-to-many relationship, so for proper reports and visualization, to create to give you a better report. So I try to do here to convert a many-to-many relationship to a single relationship. So I created from the state table, I created a unique column on state, having California and Texas, and then I have both data on the city data connecting to the fact the single table. So I have a kind of one-to-many or many-to-one relationship. Here we want to talk about, we also want to look at filter directions by cardinality. In filter direction by cardinality, we have like for one-to-many or many-to-one, we have either a single filter direction or both filter directions. Of course, this will be demonstrated during our demo session so that we know how both single and both direction works. We have for one-to-one, we have both direction, which is also referred to as bidirectional. And for many-to-many, we could either have single, which is from table 1 to table 2, or single from table 2 to table 1, or both, which is bidirectional. I just want to compare why don't the single flat table and a dimension model table. A single flat table has repeated value, which it also increases in size. So it makes your storage is not optimized. Your storage increases in size. But when you have a good data model, you have improved understanding, this usability of data, as well as your storage is optimized. I want to talk about schemas. In relationship, we have what we call schemas. The tables are classified as dimension or lookup table or fact tables. Dimension tables describe business entities, while fact table describes the observations or events. A star schema is made up of a central fact table with multiple dimensions, as you can see, branching off the fact table. It's more or less like an appearance of a star. So when you have this kind of relationship, we call it star schema. And this is the most widely used schema in Power BI. We also have snowflake schema. This contains a fact table with dimension tables branching off the table as well as sub-dimension tables. As we can see, we have a user, we have a user dimension table branching off the region table, and a segment table also branching off the customer table. Whenever we have this kind of schema, we call it a snowflake schema. We also have, lastly, a galaxy or constellation schema. It has multiple fact tables with the dimension tables connected to both fact tables as well as the sub dimension tables. Whenever we have this kind of schema, we call it a galaxy or constellation schema. For as much as we can, it is advised that we avoid this kind of schema. Okay. We want to also talk about, during our demo session, configure table and column properties. You know, before we can work on our reports effectively, we ensure that our model and table structure are simplified for easy navigation. We'll also look at creating hierarchy. Organize data such that hierarchy organize data such that one element is ranged over other data. Having hierarchies in Power BI data model opens up many possibilities. When you have hierarchies in your data, you can actually drill down into the details using structure of the hierarchy. We'll also look at creating calculated columns. A calculated column is a new column that is created from two or more existing columns. It is calculated row by row in the table. It is often used in conjugation with slicers to filter or segment your data for better analysis. We'll also look at how to create measures. Measures are used for aggregation. They are created and displayed in report view or data view. We can as well create measures. Created measures appeared in the field list with a calculated icon as displayed on the screen. And lastly, we'll be looking at creating date table. The date table is vital because you will need them to reference dates within your model. Date table can be generated by creating a calculated table using either calendar or calendar DAX auto, or you create it, column by column. Benefits of a good data model. Accurate reports. It gives you accurate reports. It is faster data exploration. It also simplifies simpler aggregations. It also helps us to maintain. It's very easier for us to maintain. So without wasting much time, we want to go into a demo session. So I want to share my Power BI screen. Okay, so this is our report view. This is our data view. This is our model view. So we'll go to our model view to do our connection. Let me just minimize this. Okay, so we said Power BI automatically can dictate your can detect the relationship between your data once you have the data. But if such is not done, we will have to connect the data manually by ourselves. So in connecting our data manually, we could either go through manage relationship, or we can do a drag and drop method. So let's go through manage relationship. We say new. We click on the drop down arrow. I select my orders table. I'll go to the second table, is return table. So, and Power BI has connected. So we have the order ID connected to the order ID on this return table. And Power BI has detected the cardinality we were talking about during our PowerPoint presentation, that we have many to one relationship. So we just click on this drop down menu. So we look at the types of cardinality we were talking about during our PowerPoint presentation. We have the many to one, which you said that is where we have one entity attribute that creates multiple connections with another attribute. We also have one to one, where we say that it's a one entity attribute creates only one. So if I try to change to, let's try and change it to one, I get this warning from Power BI. Power BI won't let me to make mistakes, so it's good for me that I don't have this type of cardinality in the data sets that I have provided. If I also select another one, say many to many, it will also give me the same warning that I don't have that data set. So I go with Power BI suggestion, which is many to one. Again, we were talking about cross-filter direction, which is on this side. This aspect is the cross-filter direction. We said we could either have single or both. We'll come back to it later. So let's just click OK. And let's see. And we click close. And let's see. We'll wait for a few minutes for Power BI to do the connection for us. Let's say close. The connection, okay, the connection is done. So this is our connection. We can see that it has connected the return table, table to the sales order table. So we have our connection there. This star, like I said during the presentation, represents many. That means I will have multiples of, while on the return table, it will not repeat itself. It will appear only once. So here on the return table, the order ID forms my primary key, while on the orders table, the order ID is my foreign key. Okay, now this little arrow, like I said, that we'll go back there shortly. This little arrow represents the cardinality. the cross filter direction, which means that it is filtering from this return table products to this orders table. So let's just go there and see again before we go on. So this is single, like we have seen. Okay, let's go to the report view and quickly demonstrate what this single direction means. So let me select a visual. I select a table visual. Let me go to my other table. Let me select product name. Let me select product name. Let me select sales. Okay, so let me select matrix visual, and then on my returns table, because I want to demonstrate my returns table, how it filters single direction. So I select order ID. Okay, fine. So we are here. Let me make this a little bit smaller. Let me make this bigger so we can see. Okay. Let me bring this down. All right, let me make this a little bigger for us to see. Okay, fine. All right, so this is our orders table and this is our return IDs table. So if we said it is set to single, again, let me see. It's set to single. It is the filter direction is from the returns table to the orders table. So let's select. We'll select an item. So we see that this item I selected was actually returned. We can see that our orders table is updated. If I select another product ID, the order ID, we can see that our orders table is also updated. But if I try to select, let's say, white envelope from the orders table, we could see that nothing happened at the returns table. It's not updated because the cross filter direction is not from order table to the returns table. But if I go back to my model, sorry, just a moment. If I go back to my model and then I go to, let me double click on this so we can demonstrate how. So let me change it from single to both and I click OK. I'll give it a few minutes to work. All right, we are here. So we have double arrow, which represents that it is bidirectional. I can either filter from the returns table to the order table or from the orders table to the return table. So let's go to our visual and see. Of course, we can see that the returns table is already updated. So it means there was no product returned. This white envelope wasn't returned. Let me try and select some other. Oh, this too is not returned. I select another. Okay, so if I try to also still select from this, you can see that on both sides I'm able to filter my report. So that is the purpose for that is how single and both works. Now again, we want to look at We want to look at hiding columns. We want to look at hiding columns. So we can hide, how to hide columns. We can either right click on this and select hide in report view, or I can just click on this symbol that looks like an eye and it will also be hidden. Please note that hidden columns on tables are not deleted. They are just hidden in the report view. So you don't populate your reports, the field pan on your report view with unnecessary data, because once you have done your connection, your relationship, you just go with whatever data you actually want to work with. So we can hide, let's say we hide this. I can as well try to hide some other column. Maybe I don't want to do any visual on this. I can as well hide hide this. Sorry. Let's hide some more. Okay, I want to hide segments. All right, so for those ones that are hidden, let's check under our others field pan on the right hand side. We could see that we cannot see them. So that is how we hide fields in data modeling. Another thing we want to look at is configure property. So I'll try to configure some columns. On this, we have, this is the property that we have. So on this property, I have sales, I have description. I could say, maybe, let me just say super math sales. For synonyms, I could say sales, like to work. Give a few minutes to work. Then I say sales. Sorry, the spelling is not correct. Sales. Okay. So I'll need it, since it is currency involved. I'll need 1,000 separator. I'll give a few minutes to work. It's updating all the formatting I'm doing. And then I also come to format. I'll select currency because it's sales. When I select currency, I want to give it a currency symbol. So I come to format. I have United States on the data set, so I select a dollar symbol for my currency. And I am done. I can do the same thing for profits. I can also say math sales. It depends on what you are, it depends on your data set. I give you few minutes to work, so I can either call it profit or gain. I'll also go ahead to format the data type from general to currency. I'll give you a few minutes to work. I select currency, and then 1,000 separators, yes, so that I'll be able to pronounce it. I'll also change this to a dollar sign since I have those on my data set. So before we go on to demonstrate that, let me quickly also mention how to create hierarchy. If I right click on this country code, country field, I will say create hierarchy. We said that hierarchy organizes data elements on top of each order in that order. So on the field side, on the right hand side, we can see this icon that is showing branches already. So on this my orders table, I have region. So I'll just go and try and locate region. Region is here. So I'll go and I'll say add to hierarchy. Which of the hierarchy? Country hierarchy. So that on my hierarchy, I will have country at the top. I will have region next to it. And then next to it, I have state. So I will just say add to hierarchy, country hierarchy, and then state comes in. I'll now go up and look for, I think I saw cities somewhere. Okay, yes, here you are. So I add it to my hierarchy. So I have that hierarchy. If I just expand this, I think we are able to see country, region, state, city. So this is the hierarchy I've created. I've only created one hierarchy, and because I've created hierarchy, I can actually hide this field so that when I go to my report view, I don't have to see too many unwanted fields. I can as well hide the region, and as well hide the state, because I hide the state. I want to also hide the ship mode. I want to create another hierarchy. Okay, I want to create another hierarchy. I have category, so I can create category of products. So I will say create hierarchy. So since I've created the hierarchy, I can hide this field as well. So by the time I go to my report view, it won't be populated with too many fields that can be confusing. There's subcategory. Where are you? Yeah, here you are. So I will add to hierarchy. Now it's asking me which of the hierarchy do I want to add to. It is not country hierarchy, it is category hierarchy. And because I have done that, I can as well hide this field. Okay, so now I just want to demonstrate on the visual what synonyms stands for, and the category that we have just created, how it works. So here, let me select, give me a car visual. Oh, sorry. Undo. Let me click cancel. Okay, so I get a card visual. Okay, on the card visual, I want to select sales. Right. So I've selected states. I don't need it as this. I've selected states. So what I will do now is to use a Q&A to ask a simple question to give me the sum of sales. So we can see how the synonyms works in Power BI. So I'll say sum sale, sale, sale. So we can see that here it is sales, and here I call it just sale, and it responds to me. If I try to change that and say trading, like we said, and it will still give me the same thing. So this is how synonyms works in Power BI. If I can call it sale, I can call it sales, I can call it trading. But if I don't define that at the column property, by the time I want to ask my question here, of course, Power BI will not be able to recognize what I'm talking about. For instance, let me say bargain is some bargain. And of course, Power BI doesn't know what it means. But if I go back to my property and on my sales and in the synonyms, I include bargain, bargaining, and I go back to my report view, is going to, I'm going to bargaining. Yes, so it will give me the figure. So that is how it works. I just pick a new page and let's demonstrate hierarchy. Let me select this visual, and on my, sorry, acting up. Okay, so let me select country, and on my y axis, let me select sales. Okay, so I have, let me just make it a little bigger. So I can drill down. We said it is arranged in such a way that you can actually drill down your data to the minutest detail. So the next level, I have region, I have the west, I have the east, I have the central, I have the south. We can see that the west has more sales than the east, followed by the east, followed by the central, as well as the south region. And if I drill down to states, I'm going to have all of these states in that in this particular order. That is California, this New York, Texas. And if I drill down, I will drill further down to city. So this is how and hierarchy works. So from hierarchy, we are going to move on to we have talked about cardinality, we have talked about cross filter direction, we have talked about column property, we have talked about creating hierarchy and hiding of columns. And now we want to move on to how to create calculated columns. And we do that, like I said, in our data view. All right. So in our data view, we are here. So we come to our table tools. Okay, we have new columns. So we create a new column on this data set. On this data set, I have profits, and I can just create a calculated column. Let me call this, maybe say I want to know my profit status. Call it profit 3 guns. Okay. So I want to say if I write a simple that, if my orders, I'm looking for profit, so I just select profit. Orders profit is less than 0, say is loss, else is gain. So I close the bracket and I press enter. We said sometimes we might need to create fields, and we said that calculated columns works on each row. We can see that it has worked for each of the rows and has given me gain. If we look at this, for us to know whether we actually have some losses, we can click on this drop down arrow and we can see, yes, we have gain and there are losses. Let me just deselect the gain and let's look at if we have some losses. Wow. Okay, so we can see that we have some losses. So that is how we create a calculated column. We can try to create one more. And let's say we want to look for, just can we look for as an example, calculated column. Okay, we want to look for sales. We already have our sales, we have quantity, we have profits. So we can have we can look at all what we have here and try to do maybe one or two things to generate another calculated column. But most of the time, we normally advise that unless it is highly necessary for us to have calculated columns, because the more calculated columns you have, the more you can your data is being increased. So because we have it increases our data, so most of the time we try to as well minimize our calculated columns, except it's highly necessary. We can just use measures, to do whatever, using that calculation measures to do whatever we want to do. So as we go on, we're going to look at how to create measures with our system. So let's say if we want to have sales, sorry, let me just a moment. Cancel. Okay, sorry for that distraction. I was a little bit of distraction from that end. So we want to look at how to calculate, say, we have cost. Sorry, okay, yeah. Cost is equal to sales, other sales minus the profits. I would say enter. So there we have our cost. Like we can see the formatting we did from our model view. We can as well format these columns since it is cost and it is Naira based. So we can just do that by clicking on currency. And of course, we wait for it to update. As time is running fast, and we say dollar. Okay, so I quickly go on to create measure. So I'll click on new measure. Demonstrate how we create measure. I'll click on new measure because the time is running fast. So we say, let's say we want to create total cost. And we say total cost will be the sum other cost. Some other cost. We can do another simple measure. Of course, that won't show on the column here because it's going to be on the other. It was going to show on the field fan with the calculated icon as we said earlier. So let's say profits, total profits. Total profits. And we say sum other profits. I'll close the bracket. So if we look at on the right side with on the field pan, we will see the measure that we have created. These are profits that we created, and these are measures that we have created. These are columns, while these are measures. So we quickly go on to the last one, which is creating table on our model. Creating table. We said that table helps to, we can also create the table on this visual. So we go on to create table. I go back to table tools, new table. So we have a new table. Let me call it date table because it's date table that we want to create, date table. So let me say, I can either create it column by column, or I can create it just by writing that. So let me just go add columns, after add columns, calendar auto. I close the bracket with comma. I add another column, which is, I call it here, then a comma, and I issue the Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Get it. Close the bracket. I want a month number. uh, Number, month, month, and bracket date. I want the month itself. I want the month, a month, and format the month, and I have a month, format date, format date. No, I want to add. Um, I want it to give me just the first 3 letters of the month. So that maybe I want to have another column or quarter. Let me just shorten it with this, and I say as is given to me, and I select date as well. I select the date, and I give it, um, and then I am done. I like to work. I give it a few minutes to work. Sorry. Okay. All right, so we have our calendar dates. What happened is that Power BI is able to go into your data set to locate the start date and end date of whatever is in your data. And so when you are creating the calendar date, it's just populate the calendar for you. So if we go to the data model, we'll see that we already have our dates table, and we can connect from here, let's say our order dates to date, and then we have our connection done. Like I said, we can either drag and drop, or we go through the route like we used during when we were connecting our returns table to the orders table. I noticed that on this table, I also have a ship date, which I can as well connect to the date table. But if I do that, look at what I get. What I get is I'm having a dotted line and a solid line. So this dotted line shows that this relationship I've created is inactive. In Power BI, you can create many relationships between one table and between two tables as much as you want, but only one relationship will be active on that table. So you'll see that this relationship is inactive, while this the one that is represented by dotted line is inactive, while the one that is represented by solid line is active. So if we want to make this active, it means that I can just force Power BI to make it active by writing a simple DAX. But my time is running out. I don't know if I'll be able to complete that. So, and let me just try and see how I don't know if I can demonstrate that very quickly before our time runs out. So in order for me to, let's go back to, okay, we are already here. Let me close this. Just want to collapse this and scroll up. I get a new measure. So I call this, sorry, let me call it quantity shift. So I have calculate, sum. Just select as Power BI brings. What do I want to sum? Other quantity. Other quantity, where are you? Other quantity. Okay, here you are. Other quantity. I close the bracket, comma. I use relationship. I select use relationship. What am I? The date table selected. Date table. After I select the date table, I pick order. Which order am I looking at? Is order return. Is order ship date that I want to order ship date. I should have a ship date. Yeah, here you are. That's ship date. So, okay. Okay, so I have it. If I now go to my report view, my time is fast spent. Mr. Raz.
Oh, thank you, Anna. Look, I think you've covered so much fundamentals
Yes,
and some
Mr.
really good demonstrations there, Anna.
Yes,
So,
Mr. Raz. So
hello there,
any
Anna. Can you hear
question,
me?
please? Yes, I can hear you. Any question,
Yeah,
please?
yeah. Thank you so much, Anna. That was really helpful. Look, that's really good. You've covered some important fundamentals there. And so it was very important. So I just want to thank you so much for such a, a
Thank
comprehensive
you,
view
Raz.
of the fundamentals of Power BI.
Thank you, Raz.
Fantastic, Anna. Thank you so much. Please share your contact details in the chat, okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, I'll do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed the time. Please stay tuned with us on this Power BI Bootcamp. I'm sure you have value for your time. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you very much.